Well, good evening, everybody. Certainly thankful that y'all have blessed me with the time to be able to talk to you all. I want to go ahead and say that I think the hardest thing about an invitation for me is picking what I'm going to talk about. Because I can't just talk about anything, I guess. It has to be applicable to me. And after Todd, we selected a date that I could do it, of course, it left me with, well, what am I going to talk about? Well, lucky for me, that moment was just, I guess, God knew. So he gave me a moment to I guess, work through and learn from. So I guess to start this, I got to tell you the experience. So about 2 weeks ago, give or take, I was at a reception. And after running around and doing everything the whole day, you get kind of tired. So, well, I was sitting with my uncle, and the party was still going on elsewhere, and I wasn't partaking of what they were doing. But, we were just enjoying the night. Well, a young lady approached me, and she was told that I had something that she needed. So, of course, she asked me, and at that moment, she looked at me, and she was like, wait, why aren't you with the party? We're all having fun over there. Why are you not over there? I said, well, I am a Christian, and that is not the lifestyle that I am about. And of course, at this moment, I was thinking, this could go probably bad saying that, but it's the truth, because other times people were like, oh, well, you can still cut loose and have fun and just believe in His grace. No. She looked at me and just had this look of, oh my word, I'm a Christian too, and I am doing bad. And so that just opened a door for me to practice what we learn here, authority, and why we do things. And like I said, it just left an impression on me. So, my funny title will be Unintentionally Intentional. And so what I learned from this experience led me to find verses in the Bible that would, I guess, also help others think about it. And so the first one comes from Matthew chapter 5, which that is a lot smaller than I expected. I apologize. Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." So, when we intentionally walk in God's truth, His light shines through us. Remember, Jesus calls us the light of the world. Light doesn't try to shine. It just does. That's just what light is. When you live with integrity, faith, and love, others are drawn not to you, but to God in you. So, that kind of lets me ask the question back to myself. Am I always showing this light in school, work, or online, being a Christian, saying that I'm a Christian? Another verse comes from 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation." And this one, I guess, was a kind of a serious thought, because you always encounter a lot of people. But sometimes, or hopefully in a rare sense, your life may be the only sermon someone ever hears. That's kind of weird to think about, but your actions, your life might be like the only pathway for them to see God. And that's important for us to know of our example. Even when misunderstood or judged, your consistent Christ-like living can lead others to glorify God. You might never see the full effect your obedience has, but heaven keeps track. Stay faithful even when unnoticed. Your quiet obedience is loud in the spiritual realm. Another set of verses I want to talk about is from Philippians chapter 2, verses 13 through 15. "For it is God who works in you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. Do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God, without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. God is the one producing the impact. You're just the vessel. You don't have to be flashy or perfect, or in my head, I think I have to know everything in this Bible to be able to talk to somebody. Let God work in you. As you hold on to his word, you shine like stars in the sky. True influence comes not from trying to be influential, but from letting Christ live in you. And that's what I was really taking from this experience, was that by me intentionally being a Christian, intentionally living by faith, and yes, I was around them, but I was different. I was not partaking of what they were doing, but it raised a question. Why is he different? That is not any doing that I had. I mean, yes, I was living as a Christian, but that providence, that what they saw was important and allowed them to ask me a question, which opened that door. So I have one more verse, or set of verses. It comes from 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives, when they see your respectful and pure conduct. Before y'all get the pitchforks and torches, no, I'm not telling all women, just be submissive and be an example. And yes, I am engaged. But I want to pinpoint or focus on this. They may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. Let that be applicable to all of us. Sometimes they can just look at the life you're living, and that's what it takes for them to be curious, to win them over. At least, that's what it should be. So, being intentionally close to God will unintentionally draw others closer to him. Jesus was intentional in his obedience to the Father, and without seeking fame, he changed the world. If you want to have that kind of light and influence, it starts with surrendering to Jesus, abiding in him daily so his light can shine through you. So if there is anything that we can do for you tonight, if you want to intentionally give your life to Christ, to eventually see the unintentional effects it can have, we ask that you let that be known now. If there's anything that we can do for you, and if there's any questions you have about what I have spoken tonight, please make that known as we stand and sing. Thank you.